It says there's 17 people in this live right now. Are you still here? Or have you left? It says there's 17 people here. And I just clicked on go live. Oh, I hate technical issues. I'm back. I'm here. Wow, that's the other live. Now there's only one person here. Okay. Rykard, Tamarin, Pippadot Mel are here. This is a brand new 2. Yes, it should be trivia number 2. Kitty Q. All right, now I'm going to try to add the trivia question. Go there. Go there. What do you see on your screen right now? We are all coming back. Let's see you all again. Inner peace. What do you see on your screen? Is it Will, just a little window with waves again? Will, did you know Ian Watkins from False Prophets is in the same prison block as Harold Shitton? No, I did not know that, Tamara. I did not know that. Purple waves. Effing, what the hell? Where is this purple wave coming from? See? Okay, now, do you see me in purple waves around the back of it? I have no idea where that's coming from. It should be just me. There it goes. Now it's gone. I don't know where this purple wave is coming from. It should just be me on the screen. No purple waves. But I finally seen what you guys are looking at and what you guys were reporting, the purple waves. It was more of a static purple wave, but different colors, but it should be just be black around the border right now, not anything else. What? What do you see now? Can't believe this. No, all waves. Big Will now. I'm not on. I shouldn't be on the screen at all. Now it's just you. Shouldn't be me at all. This is so effing weird. I cannot understand this. Why is it doing this? Black. It should be completely black. Yeah, well, that part's working, Mel. Completely blacked out screen. That's exactly what it should have been. Right now, you should see me in a piece. The situation. Should be me on the screen right now. All Big Will. Yep. See that part's working. Sprinkle donuts and Pippadot. I can make it completely black, or I can make it with just me. It will not. It says it's connected to Google for my Google Cloud storage. Excuse me. remove, remove. Google is lying. What do you guys see on your screen right now? Waves. The waves are back. How can those waves keep on coming back? Little Will and waves. This, I'm serious. I have no idea why this keeps on trying reconnecting to Google. I'm working on that right now, peeps. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why is it not connecting to it? Well, I got rid of the purple. Should be no question. Sal, you saw Gary Ridgway? It was Gary Ridgway. That one's working. Well, see, I didn't even have to. So I'm getting somewhere. We're making headway, ladies and gentlemen. Because I grabbed Trivia Night 318, and that was on Gary Ridgway. So at least two of you saw, three of you saw Ridgway, Green River Killer. The trivia question's gone, and now it's just me. I removed it because I'm actually trying to connect to Google to find out what's going on here. All right. Put in here. All right. That's in there. That's saved. That doc file is saved. Now to add it back to this stream, to see if it will connect, go to Drive, connect to Drive. Yes, continue. I want to gain access. I give permission. Thank you for bearing with me while I work on this. If it will connect with the Ridgway one, it should connect to this one. Why it won't, I don't know. I don't know. As my son would say, I don't know. I don't know. Never had this issue before. I've had some messed up issues, technical issues in the past, but not this one. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, the waves and stuff, if you're seeing them right now, that's momentarily. I'm working on processing tonight's trivia to upload it. Connecting to the cloud right now is what it's doing. It's processing. All right, now it's done processing and it should be connected. We can help you figure this out, Will. I hope so, because we wore white after Labor Day. I'm not leaving. I'm putting out my 5 dogs. Okay. Like Reichardt says, purple waves ablaze attack. There should be no purple waves at all right now. Now it's you and a. How is it me? I'm babysitting my granddaughter's cat. Oh, just black like my soul. Black. All right. Try another one. Maybe there's something with it not connecting to that one. What do you see on your screen now? Is it a black screen? Only a black screen. Sprinkle says waves. It's got to be something where it's not connecting to the other trivia for tonight's trivia. It's not connecting at all. Right now, you should see Gacy. I killed them. Gacy and KFC colors. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Do you see a trivia question of John Wayne Gacy, the real monster? Do you see that? Where it says John Wayne Gacy was a real monster who would go to any length that seemed to kill again and again. How many victims was he convicted of killing? Do you see that question on your screen? Question number 1. Inner Peace says yes. Yes, on the monster. Trivia question on Gacy number 1. I don't know what it is. It will not connect to tonight's trivia. There's got to be something wrong with the actual file, because I can get it to load every other past trivia. Y'all just want to play trivia on something else? We can do the Gacy trivia again. God knows I have 320 pieces of paper here with all the trivia nights. Killing nurses, Green River Killer. Okay. Right now you should only see me. So since obviously I can't get the trivia night about killer doctors to work for some stupid reason, I'll give you an option. You guys, we'll play a trivia night of any one of the past trivia nights. Here's your options for trivia nights. Obviously, doctors who kill won't work. Nurses who kill, that was last week, but we won't do those. So we got Ridgway, Kenneth Bianchi, Juan Rodriguez, Samuel Little. Just shout out once you hear one that you want to do trivia on again. Good Day to Die, Creepy Killers, John Wayne Gacy, Revisited, Charles Edmund Cullen, The Killer Nurse, Robert Lee Yates, Killer Quads, Crossbow Cannibal, Herbert Mullins, Derek Lee Todd, Do Israel Keys from 8/8/21. Cement Shoes. I have the answer keys going back to 2023. This is only a year's worth of answer keys. I don't have that one on Israel Keys. I may have another one. I thought I did one since then. Good evening, Miss K. We're having technical difficulties for some reason. They won't. Riley Brothers, Killer Clown, and it's another Gacy. Kermit, Baron Gosnell, Barry Hilton. Crossbow Cannibals is good. Yeah, I did Israel Keys on 3/10/24. Anybody want to do that one? Israel Keys from let's see, January, February, March, from March of 2024. Richard Rodriguez, Jack the Ripper. Tell me what you see on the screen now. Is it black? Does it have waves? Close your eyes and pick one. Crossbow Cannibal. Episode 299. That is correct. That's what you should be seeing right now. This is Israel Keys from 3/10/24. All right. We'll see if I can put myself in the little window. You should still see True Crime Trivia episode number 299 and me in the little window. Does everybody see Will in the little window? and True Crime Trivia, episode 299. Perfect. Says sprinkled donut. Right now, you should see the first question of 20 on the screen. 1 of 20. Do you see the question? What happened on February 1st, 2012 that changed the course of the investigation into the crimes taking place in Anchorage, Alaska for missing women? A, the kidnapping of Sarah Dunn. B, the kidnapping of Samantha Koenig. C, the discovery of Angel Tinell. D, the discovery of a torture house. We're going to get our trivia fix one way or another. One way or another, we're going to get it. And Miss Casey's 299. Kitty Q is going with B. Cement Shoes and Pippa Dot are both going with B. We're going to get our trivia fix one way or another. Connie Kelly. Good evening, Connie Kelly. We are just now starting trivia after almost an hour delay for some reason. I'm having technical issues and it would not load the correct trivia night. So don't know why. So we're going back to a trivia night that I previously did on March 10th of 2024. All the questions tonight are on Israel Keys. E, Mountain Lion 8, Barry Morphew. But I hope you are having a wonderful weekend, Connie Kelly. I'm glad you could be here with us for trivia night. Truly sorry about the technical issues there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the first question. He was such a freak. He was. Rykar's going with B as well. Inner Peace is going with the Age of Aquarius. Aquarius. Yeah, I'm not going to quit my day job. I can't sing. The correct answer to question 1 is B as in boy. B as in boy. Question number 2. When and where was Israel Keys born? Is it A, 1978 in Provo, Utah? B, 1977 in Dallas, Texas? C, 1976 in Wells, Colorado? Or D, 1978 in Cove, Utah? Where was Israel Keys born and when? Long time no see. He's one of those who took the photo of her when she passed, but glued her eyes open to make it appear she was okay to the public. Yeah, he glued her eyes open and he placed a newspaper, kidnapped her and had her. I think she was in a tent, but I could be wrong about that. I think it was in a tent though. In the bowels of hell sprung forth the man known as Israel Keys. He had her outside. He, says Inner Peas, in 1999. What a tragic loss to the music world. I miss Prince and his music. Cameron says, of all the serial killers, the Toolbox Killer and Keys scare me the most. I just wish that Israel wouldn't have taken himself out of the picture, and we would have, gone through the trial. Because by taking himself out, he has a lot of questions that nobody ever got the answer to. Miss K is going with D. Question number 2, the correct answer is, in fact, D as in dog, 1978 in Cove, Utah. Prince was awesome. You know, there's something sprinkled on it. I didn't know that Prince was a Jehovah's Witness until after he had died. I saw him once in concert, and from his music, and he was in and around the Twin Cities area all the time. I mean, he was larger than life, but he didn't shy away from public appearances or playing in smaller venues. His entire career, he was always like that. But I didn't know he was a Jehovah's Witness. Not that there's anything wrong with being a Jehovah's Witness, but I didn't know that until after he died. Has a channel almost entirely devoted to keys. Plays and irrigations, shows pictures of his house. Wow. Didn't know that. I want to look that up. Thank you for letting me know about that, Cement Shoes. All right. But again, question number 2, the correct answer is D as in dog. Question number 3. Born in 1978 in Cove, Utah, Israel moved around as a young man. He had a family. He owned his own business. Everything seemed to be going great for him. I'm sure he thought it was. Where did he eventually take his own life? Was it A, Juneau, Alaska, B, Portland, Oregon, C, Anchorage, Alaska, or D, Prince Albert, Alaska? Maybe that's what he was doing, Rykard. Maybe Prince was channeling the background of my stream tonight. Purple Wave. I will. I'm going to tell her that too, Cement Shoes. I'm going to check out the content. I didn't know that there was a channel that had such a devotion to one twisted individual like that. But it definitely sounds interesting to me. Born in 1978 in Cove, Utah, Israel moved around as a young man. He had a family, he owned his own business, and everything seemed to be going great for him. I'm sure he thought it was. Where did he eventually take his life? Question number 3 of 20. The correct answer is C as in cat. Anchorage, Alaska, December 2nd, 2012 is when Israel took himself out of the picture. Question number 4. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Israel Keys refused to play along with police. He refused to say any victim's name other than Koenig or Curry. Yet he talked about other victims and locations. Yet wouldn't say about what about those crimes. Was it A, exact location? B, what state they were in? C, method how they were killed? Or D, if a mountain lion were used? We're around. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Israel Keys refused to play along with police. He refused to say any victim's name other than Koenig or Curry. Yet he talked about other victims and locations. Yet wouldn't say what about those crimes. Question number 4 of 20. I got to put a pop filter on this microphone. I'm sorry about hearing it pop. The right card is going with D, of course. Sprinkle donut, A or C. Mal's going with C. Fifth Dot's going with C. My Peeps is going with C as well. Question number 4 of 20. Numbing, inner peas. What is inner peas having? Kitty Q is going with B. Question number 4. The correct answer is A as in apple. It wouldn't give them exact locations. Remember, when it came to Israel Keys, he stashed what he called kill kits all over the United States, from East Coast to West Coast. They were basically a 5-gallon bucket with all the things he needed to commit crimes. And so it didn't matter where he was always within driving distance of another bucket, another kill kit. But when sitting down and talking with law enforcement, he would talk about crimes, but he wouldn't mention the names of the individuals. He just started talking about like this there's a victim that was killed here, and in this area, near a logging road, but he wouldn't give an exact location on any of them. He made them try to figure it all out themselves. You wish you knew more about Israel Keys? I'm going to have to agree with you with you, Connie. I wish I knew more about Israel Keys myself. I think some of his crimes and his locations that he killed and his background, from the service and everything else, I think is very interesting. But there's a lot of like holes in the story that I don't know the information about. I'm going to go take a shower. I'll watch on replay. Bye, guys. You take care, Ricard. We'll see you again soon. Question number 5. Successful business name, family man, with his life all planned and his sandcastles built. What did he tell law enforcement was the reason he couldn't stop killing and torturing victims? Was it A, his partner wouldn't let him stop? B, he heard voices to tell him to not stop? C, he loved the thrill of it? Or D, he needed to kill 30 more? Successful business name, family man with his life all planned and his sandcastles built. What did he tell law enforcement was the reason he couldn't stop killing and torturing victims? Family man with his life all planned, his sandcastles built. I went down to Christian. It was death, absolutely crazy. Question number 5 of 20. Give yourself a bonus point on this one if you know the reference that is in the actual question there. Where does family man come from with his life all planned and his sandcastles built? Family man. Give yourself a bonus question if you get that reference. Inner peace. He didn't have enough saved for retirement. All right. The answer to question number 5 is C as in cat. He loved the thrill of killing, is the reason why he told law enforcement he couldn't stop killing and torturing his victims. He needed to find another one. Again, Israel Keyes, throughout his illustrious criminal time, killing and torturing his victims, he would drive great distances for the next one, and then the next one after that. Question number 6. According to another inmate who was in the cell right next to Israel Keyes in Anchorage Correction Center, he recognized Israel. What clue was he able to supply law enforcement that Israel never told them? Was it A, he had more than one work truck, color of truck? B, he loved to hang out in dive bars? C, he smoked Camel cigarettes? Or D, he loved the Jersey Shore show? Give yourself an extra point, sprinkled donut for getting that. That is Henry Rollins from Black Flag, from the song Family Man. Family Man. Question number 6 of 20. According to another inmate who was in the cell right next to Israel Keyes in Anchorage Correction Center, he recognized Israel. What clue was he able to supply law enforcement that Israel never told them? We got Sprinkled Donuts going with C, Pippa Dot, Sal, Tamara, Kitty Q, and Cement are all going with A for question number 6. My Peeps is going with C. Purple is going with A. The answer to question number 6 is C as in cat. But he did like to visit dive bars, and he did have multiple trucks of different colors. I don't know if he was a fan of the Jersey Shore, but they already knew at the time of his arrest that he had multiple vehicles, work trucks. And they knew he would already, he liked to hang out in dive bars and other, seedier parts of town. But they already knew that. They didn't learn that from the actual other inmate. But they learned that, from him that he smoked Camel cigarettes. And they never found the cigarette butts or anything near the crime scenes, or at least that were connected originally. But Israel had, it was his dirty little secret. While he was watching victims, as he liked to smoke Camel cigarettes, but he was able to stop and start multiple times throughout his life. All right, question number 7. Israel Keyes was unlike most serial killers. He targeted women, men, teens, and elderly. He also had which of the following pre-planned setup as he hunted for his next victim? Was it A, fake law enforcement IDs and badges? B, kill kits? C, poison pills to end his life? Or D, Barry Morphew's cell number on speed dial? Question number 7 of 20. No, Pippa Dot. Only C is correct. They already knew A and B. And we don't know if he was a fan of the Jersey Shore. I don't think Jersey Shore had even come out yet, had it? I've never watched the show, so I don't know. But the only thing they learned from the inmate that was sitting next to him was that he smoked Camel cigarettes. I googled this guy, and he was a seriously unhinged. He is. Well, he was. Israel Keys. Man, I agree with you, Connie Kelly. I wish I knew more about the man. You know, and I know a lot about certain crimes that he committed, especially like the kidnapping and abduction of of Koenig, which was his downfall. He sprinkled killed kids everywhere. And the best thing about that is I'm serious. We should all get together and like go trooping down out in the wilderness because they never found all of his kill kits. They could be out there somewhere. 5-gallon buckets. You dig a hole, bury them. I'm sure there's some in Washington, Idaho, Oregon, California. There got to be more of them out there. How many of them have people have stumbled upon the kill kits and didn't know what the hell they were? Why would somebody bury these bizarre items in a bucket? You have to be like a true crime aficionado to understand what the hell is in a kill kit. Rope, tape, maybe a weapon. Latex gloves. I mean, you could if you didn't know what it was, you might think it's just something else completely. Consider yourself lucky you never watched it. Oh yeah, Pippin. Every one of the buckets had a plastic lid on, so it wasn't like groundwater or anything else would have penetrated them. They're out there. I'm sure of it. The problem is, it's a lot of country to backtrack through to find them. You didn't hide them in cities. He hid them outside of cities where it was within driving distance for him to get to them. All right, question number 7. The correct answer is B as in boy. Kill kits. He had them spread out all over the place, set up and ready to go. Kill kits. Question number 8. Driven to kill in more than one way, Israel Keys was also a heartbreaker, rated over and over again as one of the most attractive serial killers of all time. And I'm still not joking about this at all. This has been something that, where they rate serial killers over and over again on their likability and how where they are on sexiness or attractiveness. He has always been on that list, right along with Ted Bundy, even though people find him, oddly, disturbing looking today. But what physical feature did Israel not like about himself? Was it A, his nose, B, his thin build, C, his height, or D, his forehead? Question number 8 of 20. I never watched it either, but I've seen commercials for it. It looks excruciating. The Jersey Shore. Just think we wouldn't have the Jersey Shore and Snooki or any of them if it wasn't for the O.J. Simpson trial. All of it started with Daddy, getting on the O.J. defense team, getting all that money and fame and glory and 24-hour news coverage, and that led to the start of it all. If Daddy would have stayed in private practice and did his thing, nobody ever would have heard of the Jersey Shore. It never would have happened. Nobody would have want to follow around a bunch of rich brats. Who rates these freaks on their physical appearance? That's so creepy. Oh, Mel. There's a whole another darker side to serial killers and true crime that you never want to go down. from everything from the collectability, from murder memorabilia to people who are in chat groups, and break off groups and on the internet, private websites. That's all they talk about all day long. It is a dark, twisted internet out there. If they, just think of anything that you might be interested in. I don't know, cross stitching or, needlepoint or whatever. Maybe you're into collecting, porcelain figurines. Nothing wrong with any of that. There's a group out there somewhere that meets and talks about that and shares patterns or tips and tricks about that. It's the same way when it comes to serial killers. There are people out there who trade, stories and memorabilia, and they sell it. It's all over the place. All right, question number 8. The correct answer is A as in apple, his nose. He didn't like his nose. He thought his nose was too big. Question number 9. Society likes to think Israel Keyes only killed in Alaska. However, he killed and traveled great distances by his own account for the next victim. How far did he travel away from the West Coast for a victim to kill? Was it A, to Dallas, Texas, B, Des Moines, Iowa, C, Minneapolis, Minnesota, or D, Hackensack, New Jersey? Albert Fish and Richard Ramirez were more attractive than Keyes. You think so? I'm going to have to disagree with you. I mean, that's your own personal opinion, Cameron. But Richard Ramirez? Ooh. Oh. He gives me the heebie-jeebies just looking at him. It sickens me how women are going after Wade Williams right now. Sick and disgusting. Just think, Pippadot, there are women right now that are writing him love letters of devotion and wanting to marry him, most likely. Even as twisted, as he is and what he looks like. Inner P is Idaho potato. I'm curious. He was caught in Texas, but don't mean to. He killed there. In a creepy serial killer way. You think Richard Ramirez was better looking than Israel Keyes? I mean, as long as Richard Ramirez keeps his false teeth in, I mean, he does look better than he does without the teeth. Koenig's bank card. Yep, it was caught on camera using the card at an ATM machine, and his car was in the background of the car he was using. Well, women are getting tattoos, leaving their husbands and going nuts for this POS weight. Wow, that's nuts. Good evening, Lemon Pie. Welcome to tonight's trivia. We are redoing the trivia night from March 10th of 2024 tonight because we had technical issues for some stupid reason. It won't play tonight's topic for the trivia that I had planned. That's just another trivia night that I'm going to have to come up with, and do another night. Look how crazy the women were over Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy really hit his stride when he acted as his own defense attorney in his case. That's when he really, people start to really, look at him as more than just a creepy serial killer. Don't forget, he fathered a child while behind bars. All right. Question number 9. The correct answer is D as in dog. He killed Deborah Feldman in New York at Tupper Lake, but he went all the way to Hackensack, New Jersey. But he ended up killing Deborah Feldman in New York at Tupper Lake. Wade Wilson needs to be knocked out. He is a true POS. Wade's GoFundMe page was at 90,000 yesterday. Holy Christ. Who's collecting that money for him? Question number 10. Which weapon tool from below has never been linked to any crime connected to Israel Keys where a robbery or murder or rape occurred? Was it A, a hammer, B, a knife, C, a gun, or D, a rope? Why, as Americans, are we glorified by turning rapists, murderers, and felons into movie stars and social media influencers? Oh, wow. That's $1 million question right there, Pippa Dot. That's $1 million question. Rapists, murderers, and why do we have such a fixation with them? I think it's more that people look at how they're glorified and put on a pedestal in popular movies and television. Why are they made into stars and social media influencers? There are people out there that are in the true crime genre that I'm in who are thieves and drug addicts, and people look at them and they're like, hey, that's a great person to watch. There's child sexual predators who are out there making children's content. We know it. And some of them have been caught and arrested and convicted of it. And I can't remember what his name is. The last one was a guy in Canada who was actually a child predator, and everybody knew it. Yeah, but he was on YouTube and all social media platforms. He was creepy as hell. We'll get this. Do you think 1 second whoever is behind the name of the GoFundMe page is actually going to give Wade any of that money? There's a chance if they know him, they might give him some. Good evening, Jude. Welcome to tonight's trivia. And if it's fraudulent, I would hope that somebody would report it so they can give back all the money to those who gave it to them, to the GoFundMe. But the bigger question is, why would somebody give money to someone like Wade Wilson, in the first place? That's just creepy as shit. I mean, everybody, if it's supposed to be to pay for a defense lawyer, what is the money supposed to be for? All right, question 10. The correct answer is A as in apple. In all of the robberies, murders, and rapes that Israel Keys committed, he never used a hammer. Although he did use, a screwdriver, a crowbar, a knife, a gun, a rope to not only commit burglaries, but also to commit murders and rapes. He used them as a weapon to commit some of those crimes, but never a hammer. Of all the weapons, he never used a hammer. And this is the midway point of the trivia. We know, like we've always done, we take a 6-minute break. So do whatever you need to do for the next 6 minutes. Mostly women donate to Wade Wilson. Give money to the victims. I so wish that was the way that life really worked, Pippa Dot. When it comes to crime victim funds, the last time I checked into the crime victims fund for just my own state, using that as an example, it's so poorly underfunded, and every year they keep on asking for more money to offer services not just to give compensation, actual cash to victims of crimes, to make them whole again, but to offer services like mental health, counseling, whatever the victim of a crime needs. Every time they ask for money in my state for it, they never get what they need. And whenever they have a surplus, the legislators just steal the money right back from them by cutting their budget for the next year if they have anything left over. So be fiscally responsible. It's going to put you farther and farther behind. The money doesn't go to victims. Like the $90,000 that has been raised, I guess, for Wade Wilson. I mean, I know everybody should be afforded, a proper defense in court. That is your constitutional right, to be able to defend yourself against crimes like that. But he's guilty. We knew he was guilty before they said he was guilty. He was tried in public, the public court of law, but well before the jury and the courts that system did. I mean, the whole thing of is messing with your brain. Gypsy shit Rose. Stearns wrote a poem about the little girl he killed. I heard Michael After Dark read it, and I almost threw up in my mouth. He'll be on death row with Wade Wilson soon. Wow. But in America, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, we glorified violence. We always have. It's just something that, that all, even back, going back to when, the West Coast of the United States and the frontier, people were moving out west. People loved the stories of the roughneck, cowboy riding into town to, to stake their claim, and they shoot them up in violent, crimes of the wild, wild west. People still love those stories today, and we hold, those up, people still look at, Billy the Kid, and Doc Holliday and stuff like that. They still glorify him to this day. I mean, all of them were giant pieces of shit. I'm sorry, but they were. They weren't nice to anybody unless you had something, that they wanted, and then they just took it from you. Her mother was a notorious human being piece of shit, to feed her on a silver platter to that pervert. Yeah. Yes, cement shoes. 100% agree. God bless Maddie Soto. She's an angel. That foul Steven Stearns. Is Mel Stiller still in here in the group, in the chat? No, Mel wrote an excellent poem. If you guys haven't had a chance to read it, I've got a copy of it printed out here in front of me that she wrote about, from about Maddie, from Maddie's perspective. That's a good question, Sprinkled Donut. Why isn't she in jail? She knew exactly what's going on. She's just as guilty as him. She should be in jail for the rest of her life, just for what she knowingly did. I can't believe anybody would ever do that to their own child. All right, we are back. Question number 11 is now on your screen. By now, you should have been able to get that Israel Keys lived a double life, a family man and a sadistic serial killer and rapist. There were parts of both lives that crossed over, though. What was the one thing he always made sure was taken care of in both lives? Was it A, his wife was happy sexually? B, the child was well cared for? C, he always had cherry Pepsi? Or D, he always confessed his love for Snooki? Yeah, the poem that Mel wrote is called "My Name Is Maddie," and it is an excellent poem, Mel. Question number 11. By now, you should have been able to get that Israel Keys lived a double life, a family man and a sadistic serial killer and rapist. There were parts of both lives that crossed over, though. What was the one thing he always made sure was taken care of in both lives? B, 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 and B, and then another B. B seems to be a very popular choice, and my peeps is going with B as well. You'd love to read the poem? And her piece is going with E, the laundry. The laundry was always taken care of. Cherry Pepsi with Camel cigarettes while calling Snooki. If he doesn't get it, our justice system is really screwed up. Sprinkle done it. Our justice system is really screwed up. There's the answer to your question already. If he doesn't get the death penalty, yeah, our system is already screwed up, regardless of it. In this country, you can buy yourself out of a long prison sentence or a prison sentence entirely if you have enough money. That has been that way for an awfully long time, way too long. People have bought themselves out of prosecution or doing real sentences, or they instead of doing state time, they send them to a nice cushy resort called a federal penitentiary. There's a federal penitentiary I think it's New Hampshire, it might be in Maine, but that has a swimming pool, outdoor tennis courts. It has a pickleball court. It has a full gym, and it has a store. You don't have commissary there. You have a store. You go and buy your things from, like a grocery store, like a little mini mart, I guess you could call it. That's a federal prison. I think it's in New Hampshire, though. That's where the rich go serve their time. You got 10 years? Well, how about you do 80% of that time at this nice cushy resort because you're rich? Question number 11. The correct answer is B as in boy. B as in boy. The child was always taken care of. Will, do you think they can do the story of the Avenging Angel over in Anchorage? I spent 2 hours watching on YouTube his documentary and left my mouth wide open. The Avenging Angel. This is the crazed the guy who went after predators. Who I watched the documentary of him. He's behind bars, talking about his crimes. He's got a horrific story of just how of growing up his life before he started committing crimes. I subbed to that one channel you mentioned a while back when we were talking about Scott Reich chat about now. I can't remember the name. All right. Question number 12. People love numbers. if that killer had this many victims, they were horrific. If that one had more, they were more horrific. How many murders have been positively connected to Israel Keys where they could have proven in a court of law he committed the crime? Was it A, 23, B, 109, C, 6, or D, 11? Question number 12 of 20. How many murders, excuse me, are positively connected to Israel Keys that he could have been prosecuted for? And by being positively identified to, connected to the crime, they had either DNA plus they had other evidence that he would have convicted him of that crime if he was ever to have gone that far and been tried for. How many? I've watched that entire documentary. I don't believe I saw it on YouTube. I think I saw it on Netflix about the Avenging Angel. It's a damn good documentary, though. Either way, it's most likely the same thing somebody just uploaded to YouTube. We got D, D, and D, and D. D seems to be a popular choice. Where I just got given me a little bit of time, a very dang popular YouTube husband and wife channel. I'll tell you as soon as I think of their names. You know, I think Mr. Balin has also covered the Avenging Angel as well. Did they have DNA on Israel Keys? Yes, they did. But Israel took himself out before he could ever be prosecuted for any of them. Who's Lauren Reed? All right, question number 12. The correct answer is D as in dog. 11. 11 murders. They had positive connection to him. Not only did they have DNA, they had forensic evidence on top of it that proved that Israel Keys was the one who committed the murders. 11. I love Mr. Balin. Just watched his new video today. So did I. I don't know if I watched. I watched him Pippadot, but I'm always out of order. But yeah, Mr. Balin, a former Navy SEAL, honorably discharged from the United States Navy and Navy SEAL. Once a SEAL, always a SEAL, as they say. Question number 13. Some victims are personal favorites of serial killers. They don't like to talk about them because they want to keep that one just to themselves. They hate it. They hate it actually when the public and especially law enforcement know about them. So which one was Israel's favorite? Was it A, Koenig, B, Bill Courier, C, Julie Harris, or D, Mandy Scott? Lauren and John Matthews. Dr. John. Some victims are personal favorites of serial killers. They don't like to talk about them, but they want to keep them to themselves. They hate it actually when the public and especially law enforcement know about them. So which one was Israel's favorite? Question number 13 of 20. Navy SEALs are badasses. Lemon Pie is going to go with Pauly Shore. Sal is going to go with C. And Cement shoes going with E. Bill Cosby. If Will allows me to post the name of the channel, I will do it. Otherwise, no. Mel, go ahead. You can't drop a link in the comment section, but um, you can tell people what the channel name is. Like I said, I've got the poem right here. I just remember his name and her name, dear. All right, question number 13 of 20. The correct answer is D as in dog, Maddie Scott. He didn't want to talk about anything when it came to the crime of Maddie Scott. It was his personal favorite murder, rape, and torture of all of his victims, Maddie Scott. But he didn't want to talk about it because it was his favorite. He wanted to keep it to just himself. Question number 14. Ted Bundy said he killed women who were foolish with life. Dennis Rader said he only killed those who deserved it. Albert De Silva said he only killed the pretty ones. What did Israel Keys say about his victims? Was it A, who was really the victim, them or me? B, we're all going to die, let's have fun first. C, Canadians don't count, only stupid Americans do. Or D, you call them victim, I call them pleasure. Yeah, if you want to drop the link, Interpeas, you can. I'm almost 100% sure that you have moderator approval, so you can drop the link because I know you can do like the links to like Gemma's channel and and so on. But if you want to, you can. Hidden true crime. But if you want to do it, Interpeas, go right ahead. Sal's going with D, purple, and cement going with D. Lemon pie is going with A. Question number 14 of 20. They all wore scrunchies, says Interpedes. Oh, you're okay. A truly heartbreaking account of the young girl's torment. It requires a special way to read it out loud. If you don't cry over it, you didn't read it right. Question number 14 of 20. Ted Bundy said he killed women who were foolish with life. Dennis Rader said he only killed those who deserved it. Alberto Salvo said he only killed the pretty ones. What did Israel Keys say about his victims? Question number 14. The correct answer is C as in cat. Canadians don't count. Only stupid Americans do. Only stupid Americans. I know it's stupid is spelled wrong there, but it's supposed to be the word stupid. Question number 15. Long before Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow started killing family, Israel Keys and his mother and father and siblings were all members of the exact same belief system as Chad and Lori. What was it? Was it A, the Church of Enlightenment, B, Fundamentalist Mormon LDS, C, Fundamentalist Baptist Movement or the FBM Network, or D, the Colville Rising Sun Church? Long before Chad and Daybell and Lori Vallow started killing family, Israel Keys and his mother and father and siblings were all members of the exact same belief system as Chad and Lori. What was it? E, the viewers of Pauly Shore movies are the real victims. What a comment to come from an American, right? He was particularly talking about one of his victims who was Canadian in reference there. But he said Canadians don't count, only stupid Americans count. Church of the Holy Donut. Lemon Pie is going with E, the Jedi Order. The Jedi. Question number 15 of 20. All right, the answer to question number 15 is B as in boy, Fundamentalist Mormon LDS. It's the correct answer. There is a vast difference between the fundamentalist Mormon beliefs and those who follow those practices from people who follow mainstream, the church and the beliefs of, from the, their Bible, the Book of Mormon. But the fundamentalist movement, we have seen people like Warren Jeffs was a fundamentalist Mormon. The family, Israel Keys' family, grew up and believed in the fundamentalist Mormon movement. And so did Lori and Chad Daybell. A lot of the beliefs that they believed in, everything from being one of the chosen 144,000 to their the beliefs that Chad had, that people were dark spirits and light spirits and evil spirits and all that. I believe in it if you want, but a lot of that comes from the original fundamentalist Mormon beliefs. But luckily for Israel Keys, in some aspects, though, his family did move away from the fundamentalist Mormon teachings and beliefs. I saw the Book of Mormon Broadway show. Did you? Miss Murder. Good evening, Miss Murder. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Question number 16. Ready, set, go. Which one of the profile signs, i.e. psychopathic behaviors of a serial killer, did Israel Keys show first when he was as young as 7 years of age? Was it A, setting random fires, B, torturing animals, C, breaking into homes to watch people sleep, or D, purposeful bedwetting? Which one of the profile signs, i.e., psychopathic behaviors of a serial killer, did Israel Keys show first when he was as young as 7 years of age? Well, I don't necessarily think that Mormons necessarily believe that they are special. I think you can find the same thing in just about every religion out there. To each their own. To each their own. Question number 16. Which one of the psychopathic behaviors of a serial killer did Israel Keys first shows signs of at the age of 7? Putting pineapple on pizza. That is a true psychopathic behavior, lemon pie. Pineapple on pizza. Wearing white after Labor Day. Well, I'm breaking that rule right now. I'm wearing a white T-shirt. Extremists exist in every religion. Yes, they do, Mel. All right, question number 16. The correct answer is A, as in apple. As young as the age of 7, he would set small fires and then, walk away from them and then watch people come and, to put them out. Arsonist behavior, one of the psychopathic behaviors of a serial killer. Early signs of them, besides torturing animals and bedwetting, those are other signs. But he started showing the signs of psychopathic behavior of a serial killer at the age of 7 by setting fires. He was a firebug, I guess you could call it. Some people would refer to it as. And as he got older, the fires got bigger and bigger. I like anchovies on pizza. I like anchovies by themselves, not necessarily on pizza, but on saltine crackers, anchovies on saltines. I like pineapple on pizza, but you're all seeing my E answers. I got a high distinction on homicide in the uni. Hello, I'm glad it came in handy. Pyromaniac. Yeah. All right. Well, question number 17. According to law enforcement, the day Israel Keys was finally captured, he had a piece of paper folded up in his front pants pocket. And if you've been watching trivia for a while, this is something that's been, things like this have been found in a lot of serial killers have kept like little gems like this. What was written on the piece of paper in red and blue ink? Was it A, name of his next victim, B, the address to a therapist, C, times when police made rounds, or D, a list of his recent sins? According to law enforcement, the day Israel Keys was finally captured, he had a piece of paper folded up in his front right pocket. What was written on this piece of paper in red and blue ink? He shot chipmunks. Shot chipmunks and birds and anything else he could. Did Morpheus shoot chipmunks? Israel Keys did as well. He would find, catch small creatures, rabbits, chipmunks, birds. He just randomly would just kill all kinds of things, and it wasn't for food. Because once he shot them, then he would just torture them if they weren't dead. C. And Kitty Coo's going with D. What was on that piece of paper in his right front pants pocket? Chipmunks are so darn cute. We don't have chipmunks where I live. There are no chipmunks here at all. Back home, heck yeah, I see chipmunks all the time. Not here though. We got squirrels, black squirrels. All right, question number 17. The correct answer is D as in dog. On this piece of paper, he had written down all of his most recent sins. These sins went through his entire life, according to my notes here. And as he repented for a sin, or he believed that the sin had been exhausted from his life, he would add new ones to it, according to my notes here. But a list of sins. Buy more Neosporin. My peeps is overrun with chipmunks. What's the difference between a squirrel and a chipmunk? Well, they're both small little creatures. Aren't they virtually the same? Well, a chipmunk looks like Chip and Dale from the Disney cartoon. A squirrel looks like, a little homicidal, run you off the damn road in a Geico commercial. But yeah, they're both little forest creatures. But we don't have any chipmunks around here. We got squirrels though. The squirrels were actually brought in here on purpose because they're not indigenous to this area. Same thing with seagulls. They were brought back here in this area in the 1940s to control the cricket population. And they've been here ever since. Question number 18. I desperately, at times, wanted to be what you could call a normal man. His own words. He tried working. He did what he thought normal people did. He even joined the military. What branch did he actually join? Israel Keys. What branch did he actually join? Was it A, the Space Force, B, the U.S. Navy, C, the U.S. Army, or D, the U.S. Coast Guard? Sprinkled chipmunks are so cute, tiny. Squirrels can be quite a bit larger. Also, chipmunks have distinctive markings. I don't have anything against squirrels, except for that they keep on getting into my garden. Little bastards. So I had to put chicken wire up around my entire garden bed to keep the squirrels out. They don't like the wire mesh. Yeah, if you remember the Disney cartoon, the Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale from the Rescue Rangers, those were chipmunks. I'll trade you a chipmunk for a koala. That'd be cute as hell. My wife would love that, Miss Murder. A koala. Yes, those squirrels will double dog dare you to chase them too. E the YMCA from the state of the YMCA. What branch of the military was Israel Keys in? Question number 18. I love bunnies too, Static. They're both rodents, says Mel. Not to be confused with the stripper Chippendales. I didn't even think about that. That's good, Miss Murder. I didn't even think about the Chippendales dancers. Oh, now I've got the Saturday Night Live of Chippendales dancer with Patrick Swayze and who was it? Not Will Ferrell. Oh, the heavyset guy. Oh, damn it. The one that did the live in a fan down by the river. um, well, that skit from Saturday Night Live has got that picture in my head of them trying out for the Chippendales dancers. All right, question number 18. The correct answer is C as in cat. He was in the United States Army, the U.S. Army. Chris Farley, thank you, Lemon Pie. Chris Farley, Kitty Q as well. Thank you very much. Yeah, Chris Farley in the skit on Saturday Night Live, where him and Patrick Swayze are dancing to try to, interview for their for a position as a Chippendales dancer. You raised them for meat. Never forget Farley and Swayze as Chippendale skit. Yeah, it's absolutely funny. I used to want to pet the chipmunks when I was little. My mother had to watch me like a hawk to make sure I didn't. But they're so cute. All right, question number 19. Once while speaking with Alaska State Troopers, Keyes mentioned he admired another serial killer. Then later, as part of his rambling lies and misdirections in confessions, he mentioned this serial killer again. Who was it? Was it A, Jeffrey Dahmer, B, H. Holmes, C, Barry Morphew, or D, Ted Bundy? Once, while speaking with Alaska State Troopers, Keyes mentioned that he admired another serial killer. Then later, as part of his rambling lies and misdirections and confessions, he mentioned the serial killer again. Who was it? Question number 19. We have bunny rabbits here. You don't see them much in town, but you go out into the desert, you see them everywhere. Especially like we have an industrial park that's not too far from us. I say industrial park, but it's basically office buildings, like a really large contractors who have all their offices in one thing, and they have like a park in the middle of it. So it's think of like the Pentagon. All right, you picture the Pentagon. This is a series of like 8 buildings with a giant courtyard in the middle. But they have a huge amount of these little tiny bunny rabbits. They're about the size of a softball. So I've never seen them any bigger than that. Buffalo Bill. He sounds like a Bundy fan, says Mel. Rabbits are high in protein. I'm pretty sure I've probably eaten rabbit at some point in my life, my peeps. I'm drawing a blank on when I did, or if I have. I mean, I've eaten everything from rattlesnake to gator, ostrich, uh, elk, deer, more common ones, beef, chicken, obviously. So I'm almost certain I ate rabbit. I know when I was younger, I ate squirrel. I was probably about 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there. I used to go visit my grandmother. It was just before my dad passed away. For the summer, my mom would send me up to visit my grandmother, and I had a little not a Red Ryder BB gun, but I had a BB gun, and we used to go hunting for squirrels. And the rule was, if you shot it, you killed it, you ate it. Come have some kangaroo. I don't think I've ever had kangaroo, Miss Murder. If I ever get down to Australia or New Zealand, I'll certainly look you up. You know, down there. Well, I mean, hell, you're here. Aren't you in the States right now? Thought you were in the States, but tastes like chicken. Mel only ate rabbit once. Pipodot has never had kangaroo. Well, question number 19. The correct answer is D as in dog. Ted Bundy. He said he admired Ted Bundy, but then in this actual one of his rambling confessions, that he was trying to misdirect what was going on. He actually said that he mentioned him again, and during that actual confession with the state trooper. Wild rabbits are darker meat. Domestic rabbits is whiter meat. No, you're at home hoping to get to DC next year. Okay. Well, if I ever find myself in Australia, I'll definitely look you up. Question number 20. After his death, several states were able to link keys to unsolved homicides and their locations. If these all can be proven to be committed by Keys, it would bring his body count, i.e. murder count, to what? A, 38, B, 55, C, 109, or D, 42. Several states were able to link Keys to unsolved homicides and their locations. If these can all be proven to be committed by Keys, it would bring his body count, i.e. murder count, to what? Question number 20 of 20. We got B, D, A, and B. Israel Keys, if they could actually prove that he was the one who killed all these people, how many would his body count go to? Now I was going with A, question mark, period. Kirikou A, question mark, A, my peeps D. All right, question number 20. The correct answer is A as in apple, 38. Now, me, full screen. All right, make sure there's no. All right, so here's a dirty little secret that a lot of people don't realize. Once a serial killer, Ted Bundy, Israel Keys, John Wayne Gacy, whatever it might be, once the actual perpetrator dies in America, in a lot of jurisdictions, not all, but a lot of jurisdictions, as soon as the perpetrator dies or is put to death, they stop the investigation into the crimes that the individual may have committed. That's why if they were able, the question said if they were able to, they may have evidence that says, yes, this was definitely Israel Keys and he is the one who committed these crimes. A lot of jurisdictions stop. Now, that's in the state level. The federal level, they may continue to investigate the crimes of the individual at a federal level. But a lot of states just say, okay, well, the person who committed these crimes is now gone. There's no reason to waste man hours and everything else on this individual to prove that they did these crimes. It's an injustice in a lot of ways, especially for the victims and their families, to never know, did this person actually kill my loved one or my sister, brother, friend, whatever it might have been. But that's because the states they're already strapped. They already have a whole lot of cold cases. They have to put their resources towards other cases. Well, that guy's gone. There's no reason to prove that he committed 40 murders or 39 or whatever. Let's move our resources now over to these cases. So that happens a lot in America. In a lot of jurisdictions. Again, that does not count the federal level. It's silly, but you have to also think about it, Mel, from the perspective of people don't want to pay any more in taxes. They don't want to pay for criminal justice any more than they already do. They're like, well, we can raise taxes to raise money so we can hire more people to work these cases, or we can have volunteers work the cold cases. When it comes to cold cases in America, a lot of jurisdictions rely upon retired detectives coming and working the cold cases and take, maybe putting fresh eyes on the case and trying to, to solve it. They don't necessarily have a cold case, squad. That's all they do is work on cold cases, active, actual detectives. A lot of jurisdictions, and even in my own jurisdiction where I live, the cold case squad, if you will, is actually a retired prosecuting attorney and 2 retired detectives from different cities who have retired, and that's what they do in their spare time, is trying to solve cold cases. They don't have the manpower. No one does. No one's got the tax money to put forward and say, okay, you guys all work on these cases. Money buys justice, I suppose. It also buys people out of prosecutions or gets them, cushy little sentences, so they don't have to, do their prison sentences like we were talking about earlier. Well, how or why exactly did they keep Gacy's case open? New bodies, because of the exactly right there, Patat, your answers in your question itself. Gacy's file is still open and actively being investigated until they identify all of his victims. And as long as there's a victim that is not identified, they will keep that case open. It's not going to ever close until they've identified each and every one of the victims. And I believe that a couple years ago they identified one more victim, but that still leaves, I think, 3 victims. The bodies they have DNA from those bodies, but they have to be able to match them through familial DNA or somebody else has got to be able to crack that case, and they haven't been able to match them yet. Now remember, when it comes to Gacy, only about 10 of his victims ever had missing persons reports that were officially filed. A lot of those people that Gacy murdered, people just thought they were runaways, or they're drifters. They left the area. That's how Gacy was able to get away with it for so long. When you're dealing with that fringe of society, people who may have been drug addicts or runaways or whatever, And he's not the only one. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of serial killers who have looked and preyed upon that section of society. Be it either prostitutes, runaways, or those who are on the outskirts, drug addicts, alcoholics. They preyed upon them. Easy victims, and if they disappear tomorrow, who's going to miss them? So, yeah, there's a lot of flaws in our when it comes to our justice system here in America. But the only way it's ever going to get better is if people, stand up and say, "Look, enough is enough." I mean, we wouldn't even have the Amber Alert system if it wasn't for a ground roots fight to actually get the system in place to alert people whenever a child disappeared. We wouldn't have the Silver Alert system if it wasn't for people on the ground level in a grassroots effort to start people looking for missing seniors. So have all Key's victims been identified? Um, well, it all depends on what you considered identified, Mel. There's cases that have definitely been connected to them, where the MO was the same. The body or the victims the victimology matches what Keys did. The way and who they were and how they disappeared all matches, kind of what Israel Keys was doing. Were those bodies found? No, not in all of them. But again, if you don't find them, right? No body, it's hard to convict. Well, now that he's gone, the case pretty much stops. They're like, okay, these ones match what he did. We don't know if they're dead. Well, they haven't reappeared anywhere. The likelihood is that they're gone. So I can only imagine how many cases really have unidentified victims. Give a name, for example. I don't have it in my notes for this. I mean, this is from March 10th of 2024. I don't even have the rest of the notes on this anymore. Usually I attach another piece of paper to it with my notes, but I just have a couple of different ones with names on it, Mel. I'm sorry. If we were doing the trivia that we were going to do tonight, I have notes on all those. That's right there next to them. But for some stupid reason, it would not upload it or connect to it. I have no idea why. And a lot of, I mean, they're from what? I think there's like 3 people that they know were involved in the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. They know that those people were connected to the disappearance of Hoffa, but nobody knows where Hoffa body is. Is he underneath MetLife Stadium? Is he underneath the Opera House? Is he in New York, buried someplace? Nobody knows. Reminds you of Barry Morphew. And that Barry Morphew Pippadot, that case was screwed. Overzealous, prosecutions, they screwed themselves on that. And the likelihood is, short of Barry, writing a book like, OJ, if I did it, and having a complete confession, the likelihood is, and sorry to say this, we may never ever see Barry Morphew back in a court of law again to stand trial for the death of Suzanne. No, well, I wish I had the answer to your question, Mel, but it was the ghost of Howard Shipman. That's funny. Barry didn't think that they would find Suzanne. I was looking at. the speaking of the Barry Morphew case, and the death of Suzanne, so we know that there was DNA that was found inside the vehicle that did not match Barry, and it did not match Suzanne nor any of the daughters. Okay, they know that that DNA matched a sexual predator. What is the likelihood? This I'm just spitballing here. Okay, what is the likelihood though? I mean, we focus on the husband. I mean, it's always going to the husband's always going to be the one with the most motive, likelihood, and the ability to actually commit the crime, right? But what's the likelihood that someone like that DNA would be found in that location? And what is the likelihood that maybe that this person was the actual person who was involved? Maybe they, are the ones who actually killed Suzanne. And we've been focused on Barry this entire time and saying that he's the one who did it. He's the one who had the motive, the likelihood, and everything else. He's guilty because we've been doing that because in the court of public opinion, we've pretty much fried him already. We've already given him the death penalty and strapped him down. But maybe there is somebody else. I mean, I don't think that's what really would happen. I think Barry did it, but yeah, you have to think about like how did that DNA get there? And they knew it. How much did they actually investigate and follow up on that? Did they at all, or did they zero in on just Barry? Because if you stand back and you look at it all, they zeroed in on Barry from the get go. From the jump, they went right after Barry. And how that got worked out. It backfired miserably on them. What is the holdup with the rearrest of Barry? I've never understood how he is still free. Sprinkle donut. A lot of the evidence that was brought forth when they first arrested Barry Morphew and then they had to drop the case is what they would call tainted evidence. If they brought it back into court again, if rearrest him and then brought that evidence into court, a first-year rookie attorney, would be able to get that all that evidence dismissed. If it was tainted before, and if you had to drop the case, it's tainted now. So they would have to come up with new evidence that would, it could be circumstantial, it'd have to be more concrete evidence. And that situation to a rearrest or put him on trial again for the murder of Suzanne. I understand what you're saying, Will, but why not investigate that side of things? Someone killed her. That is absolutely true. Someone killed her. If it wasn't Barry and if it wasn't this other person, and if it wasn't, connected, maybe, there was another person that she was texting and having, an emotional affair with over, another communication device. Maybe she was seeing someone else. But I think personally, Barry is the one who did it. All right, that's what I believe. Can I prove that in a court of law beyond the preponderance of the evidence? No. Do I know enough about it? I know enough to arrest him, but I don't know if I know enough evidence that is damning to the point where he would be the person I would zero in on. And where she was found is actually the opposite direction from where Barry normally went hunting. He went hunting in a mountain area, the opposite direction from where she was found. That doesn't mean that Barry didn't take her there and dump her body there. Barry roaming around free with the mountain lion, right? How is Barry's lawsuit going against the state? Barry suing him for wrongful prosecution and arrest? I do not know, Smith Shoes. Sal, you got to take off. So, Sal, you have a great week. Thank you for hanging out. tonight. Sorry again for the technical issues. I don't know why it won't work. And obviously, you can see I can pick any other past trivia night and I can get them to work, but I can't get tonight. There's got to be something in a corruption in the file or something. And I'm gonna have to have my daughter, who's my IT support. I'm gonna have her look at it and see. And she's probably gonna go, oh, you just click right here, fixes it, boom, and it'll work. But I had no idea that again on Saturday for Coffee Brew that you guys were seeing this purple swirl stuff on the screen. But I've kept you all long enough tonight. You guys would please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down on the way out. I would appreciate it. And I know that the quality of video probably is not the best right now. I realized we were on I think we were on question 14 or 15 that I forgot to change the perspective and the video quality. I think we're doing it in 720 right now, or maybe 610p for video, which is probably grainier than hell. But thank you for putting up with it. But thanks for doing this, Will, and many thanks to everyone here. Thank you, Mel. Thank Kitty Q, Sprinkle Donut, and everyone. Cement Shoes, thank you again. It's Shipman. Thank you again for sticking in there. You all have a great night and a great week ahead, and I will see you all again soon. In the meantime, take care. Bye.